Hey fam! It's your girl Ash and I am back with another video, and I'm so excited because Christmas is in a couple of days. I just did a video on how to have a British Christmas, and now I'm going to do a video on British Christmas dinner. I love my Brits. Big shout out to you guys. If you're new here and would like to check out my other videos, the link will be up at the top. If you guys would like to connect with me on Instagram, the link will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Enough of me talking, let's get straight into this reaction.
Greetings, gastronauts. This is Keith Cooks. I'm Keith, and it's Christmas.
Hey, Keith.
Yay! Well, it's not Christmas yet, but it will be soon. So I'm going to show you how to do
In a
a
couple of
traditional
days.
British roast turkey dinner with all the trimmings.
I hope it's not too loud, guys.
And a lot of people get into a total panic when they have to do this because, first of all, it's a whopping great bird. You never normally cook anything that big. And all the trimmings can mean, maybe 10 different elements, and you don't normally do that either. Added to that, there's your family likely milling around and pestering you, and you don't like most of them. Or maybe you do if you're lucky. And all in all, it's just a total recipe for stress. So one way to take the stress out is do as much as possible before the big day. And you can do quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, don't do every vegetable on earth. Don't do potatoes 10 ways. Just keep it simple, but make it really good. And you'll be all right, I think. So let's do it. Now, the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius, if it's a fan oven, or 180 if it isn't. And then work out your cooking time for your turkey. If it's you bought a frozen one from the supermarket, it will probably tell you how long to cook it for.
In my last video, I was talking about fried turkey, and I'm not exactly sure if you guys have ever attempted to make fried turkey, but it's so delicious. Please let me know if you guys have ever tried it. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really a fan of oven roasted turkey because, let's be honest, the white meat is kind of on the dry side, and the fried turkey adds a little bit more flavor, moistness. I don't know, but let me know if you guys have ever tried it.
I would recommend you cook it for about half an hour less, and then test the temperature, because they will err on the side of caution, and you'll likely get quite a dry bird.
Yeah.
And what we want is moist and juicy.
Maybe I always had a dry turkey. Maybe I never made an oven turkey. I never made an oven turkey ever in my life, but other family members have made turkey, and I don't really like it. I like the leg part. That's the only part I really like, but the middle of the bird, I really don't like it. It's dry. Maybe they just never made it right.
So the recommended safe end point temperature for turkey is 82 degrees Celsius. And as long as you've hit that, then you're good to go. Now, this is actually quite a small turkey. It's only 3.5 kilos, which is still going to feed me and Mrs. Keith Cooks for a week. And it looks a bit weird because I've taken the wings off. The wings on a bird this size are good for nothing except stock. And I made them in a stock with the giblets to my standard chicken stock recipe. But it came with the heart and the liver separately in this little leaky bag. So more about that later. I need to get this in the oven. Now, what I like to do is have some vegetables in the bottom of the pan, which will add flavour to the basting juices. So this is your standard mirepoix mix: carrot, celery and onion. Right, so just cut your veggies into thin slices and arrange them on the bottom of the tin. And now grab the turkey on a wire rack, fits in the tin.
So the flavor will rise up to the top.
You want to pack the skin quite dry before you start, because if it has been frozen, it will be quite wet. Some posh chefs like to shove herbs and stuff under the skin. General messing about. I sometimes do that, but this is just your basic traditional way of doing it. Good seasoning of salt and ground black pepper. So right, that goes in the oven. I'm going to give it an hour and a half, and then I'm going to test the temperature.
So you guys don't stuff the turkey?
The package says this will take 2 hours and 20 minutes, but as I said, I don't trust it. So I said I was doing roast turkey with all the trimmings, and what that means is roast turkey, bread sauce, sausage meat, stuffing, and roast potato, and 3 different vegetables. Again, you know, 1 or 2 would have been fine, but in fact there's 2 vegetables you've got to have with your Christmas dinner, even if you hate them and you never have them the rest of the year, and that's Brussels sprouts and parsnips. Now, sprouts deservedly have a bad rap because they're awful, in my opinion. But in the last few years, I've found a few ways where I can actually manage to enjoy 1 or 2, but I still wouldn't write home about them.
So
Parsnips, on the other hand, I love. So I think the problem with sprouts is...
So why cook them if you don't like them? Unless other people like them. Do everybody think that they're disgusting? Please comment down below and let me know.
Traditionally, you boil them, and that's where it all goes wrong. It's better if you roast them or saute them, and then they're actually, you know, they're not going to be overcooked and mushy. They're going to be actually nice. The parsnips, you parboil and roast them, and the carrots I'm going to boil and then reduce in a sort of honey glaze. And of course, there'll be a wonderful gravy to go with all this, and there'll be pigs in blankets, which is pork chipolata sausages wrapped in bacon. All good stuff. I'm hungry. So first thing I'm going to do is make the bread sauce. So I've got 500 ml of milk. I've got about 125 grams of white breadcrumbs. That's made from 4 or 5 slices of white bread. Yum. 6 cloves, 6 peppercorns, 2 bay leaves, 1 or 2 garlic cloves. That's a really big one. And a teaspoon of thyme, or 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. And at the end, 3 or 4 tablespoons of double cream and a pinch of nutmeg. We don't need those yet. So what we want to do is get this cooking. And yeah, I forgot something. You want onion, a medium to large onion. Happens I've got 3 teeny ones. And just cut those quite coarsely, because we're just going to infuse these into the milk. They won't end up in the finished sauce, but their flavour will. And
so the double cream in the milk honestly would give me a stomach ache because I'm lactose intolerant.
Just smash the garlic.
I can't have too much milk.
Right, now we start cooking. So I've got the milk, the onion, the garlic, the herbs, and these just want to simmer for about 20 minutes. But we don't put the breadcrumbs in just yet. That comes later. So we're about half an hour in with the turkey, and I've just checked it. It was going a bit fast. It was browning already, and so I turned the heat down to 140 degrees Celsius, and also gave it a quick baste with all the juices that have come off. Now, the stuffing ingredients, I've got 150 grams of brown breadcrumbs, 400 grams of minced pork, a bunch of sage leaves, a knob of butter.
I did not know that you guys use pork sausage in your stuffing. I would love to try it, yes.
The heart and liver from the turkey, completely optional, and 4 little onions, 1 or 2 medium ones. So what we need to do is finely chop those and the sage leaves.
But you probably can't taste the liver.
Peel them as well. Okay, back to the bread sauce. The milk mixture has been infusing for 20 odd minutes, so that's convenient. So I'll just strain it off. Melt some butter. We're going to saute the onions until they're just soft and a little bit golden. Right, those are looking lovely. So I'll pop them in a bowl and leave them to cool down completely before we assemble the stuffing. Yeah, sure. The technology. Right. Now we can finish off the bread sauce. So there's the infused milk. and that's a load of garbage, and that's a bit of a mess. Great thing with infusion hobs, the top surface doesn't actually get hot. It gets a tiny bit warm, but not hot. The pans, on the other hand, will burn you if you touch them, so don't.
We don't want that.
Right, now we need to heat this up. See that? See what I did there? Just touch the pan with my finger. What an idiot. So we're just heating this up, and we'll throw in the white breadcrumbs. Give them a stir, and they'll make it really thick and lovely. So let those simmer for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then your sauce is almost ready. And you can make this ahead of time, a few days actually, and just reheat it when you're ready for it. And if I hadn't been so busy building a gingerbread house, that's what I would have done. Now this is actually a bit thicker and gloopier than I like it, so I'm going to add a bit more milk just to thin it a bit. Let's have a taste. Okay, need salt. Well, now I can make up the stuffing mix. So I'm getting my sage leaves and I'm rolling them into like a cigar. I just chop them. Also chopped up the heart and liver. Breadcrumbs.
So I'm assuming that he's going to fry the pork sausage, and he's going to maybe fry the liver and turkey heart.
Pork.
Oh, no,
if you don't want to
not.
use minced pork, or if you have a favourite sausage from your butcher or something, you can use those. Use sausages and just rip them open. Get the stuff out the insides, which may or may not be meat. Just mix this lot together, and the onions, and well, just mixy.
The way that we do it, we actually fry the sausage, and I use chicken gizzards. I boil the chicken gizzards in some water with a little bit of seasoning, some celery, some onions. I boil it until it's extremely tender, and then dice it up, and then put it inside the cornbread. That's how we do it.
Now, this isn't quite ready. This can sit in the fridge until you need it, because the final stage is to stir in some boiling water and a bit more butter,
in the oven,
and then form it into balls or a loaf or whatever. I never put stuffing inside a bird because it messes up the cooking time, and it's all a bit dodgy. Right, I just checked the turkey, and after an hour and a half, a bit over, instead of 2 hours and 20 minutes, it is cooked. And I'm glad I ignored the manufacturer's timings, because that would have been a sensationally bad turkey, I think. So now I'm really up against it, so I've got to get the roasties on, because these need to parboil for about 10 minutes and then roast for about half an hour in a very hot oven. So, panic. Right, let's
might as well use red potatoes. They don't take
get
that
the
long
body
to
out of the
roast.
oven. Oh, dear.
I love red potatoes.
And
That looks good.
oh yeah, I'm just gonna loosely wrap that in the foil
Let the
and
steam.
let that sit on the side till we're ready for it. Right, when you've got the turkey out, you want to whack the oven up to, well, I've got it on 210 degrees because it's a fan oven, Celsius degrees, the real ones, 230 if it isn't. Basically very, very hot. And this is a load of goose fat, don't know what's happened to it.
What is that?
On a tray, I'm going to put this in the oven to melt up. I've got my parboiled spuds for roasting, so I'll just drain those off and just twizzle them about in the colander to rough up the surface. So now we need to do the parsnips. I've got the water that I cooked the potatoes in coming back to the boil. I've topped and tailed this parsnip, peeling it. Parsnips tend to taper a lot towards the end of them, and if you if you keep that on, it's not good. It just burns when you roast it. So keep the chunks fairly substantial. So they need parboiling for 5 minutes, and then with the roast potatoes for 20 minutes maybe. Okay, the snips have had their 5-minute parboil, so I'll just get them out of there. Ooh, that's hot. Okay, so there's the roasties coming on nicely. And I'll throw the snips in. Whoops!
Ooh, be careful, Keith.
Now I'm going to make the pigs in blankets. And so I've got these pork chipolata sausages. Chipolata refers to the sort of diameter. It's a small diameter, but it's a long length. Those are too long. They need to be that long. I've also got some smoked streaky bacon. And we just wrap them in this bacon, which is quite skinny. So do it on an angle, and it will roll itself across the width of the banger. Sort of like that. Again, this is something you could do ahead of time to save a last-minute panic. I'm going to put the PIBs in. So now I'm going to make the stuffing, or kind of assemble the stuffing. I'm just forming balls, and I'm sticking them in these little bun trays, and we'll throw those in, and they'll probably take about half an hour to be properly cooked. Right, just the last few things to do. Need to make the gravy, so I want a big slug of butter, and then add, well, this is the drippings from the turkey.
Oh, okay.
And this wibbly wobbly is the giblet stock that I forgot to record this morning when I made it.
Oh, okay.
You see recipes where, chefs are making gravy and they say, oh, you just stir a bit of flour into the pan juices.
Yeah, you know
and
what?
that'll give you like a thimble full.
I've never, I'm lying. I tried to make gravy from scratch with the flour and stuff like that. I don't know. I suck at it. I suck at making gravy that way.
Of gravy, and that's nowhere near enough. So we just turn up the heat and let that simmer.
So how does it get thick?
I've got some water boiling, and I'm just going to pop in the mini carrots. And they need to cook for about 5 minutes. And the sprouts, I've taken out the grubby old outside leaves, and I'm just going to cut them in half. Now for the sprouts, I want a little bit of lemon peel. This ropey looking lemon is,
like
lovely inside,
flavor?
but I nicked the zest yesterday to make my mincemeat with. However, we've got a bit of pith, so we'll take the pith. Right, the carrots have had their 5 minutes, and I've drained off most of the water. Now I'm going to just dribble in a bit of honey, and I've got it on low heat, and I'm just going to keep stirring these until all the liquid has gone. Okay, that'll do. And now finally the sprouts. So some oil in the pan, and just add the sprouts and the bits of lemon. I want to be on kind of medium heat for this, and just let them caramelise, which will maybe take.
So you guys don't add salt and pepper to the Brussels sprouts?
5 minutes. There we go. Nice, fresh looking green bits and caramelised dark bits. That'll be lovely. Those are sprouts I can eat. Right, here we go. It's Christmas. Here's big dinner. Yeah, so the turkey isn't at its best actually because of all the messing about with the temperatures and the filming and the waiting around. Sorry about that. So, turkey, stuffing, a couple of these pigs in blankets, and some roast potatoes, and some honey glazed carrots, and just a few sprouts, and some parsnips. So there you go. All your bits, all your trimmings, and you don't actually need to crowd the plate unless you're a totally greedy person. And some bread sauce, which is set a bit solid. And of course, gravy. Yeah? Okay. Very good. Thank you.
What's that,
Merry
wine?
Christmas. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed it. Now please share it with all your friends on social media. Subscribe to Keith Cooks if you haven't already done so. And join the conversation.
Keith.
I'd love to see.
Okay, Keith, that was definitely interesting. Let me know if that's exactly how you make your British Christmas dinner. I am making ham. I'm making homemade mac and cheese, smothered green beans. What else I'm making? I'm making something else. Cake. Homemade stuffing, dressing. I'm probably gonna fry chicken too. I think I might fry chicken. Yeah, I think I might fry chicken. I don't know what else I'm going to make. So far, that is really all. Smothered green beans, ham, mac and cheese, homemade stuffing, a dressing, whatever you would like to call it, and some cake. And I'll probably fry some chicken just to throw that in there. I really didn't plan on frying chicken, but I think I am. Why not? What else? I feel like I'm missing something else that I'm going to be making for Christmas. I'm not exactly sure, but let me know if this is how you make your Christmas dinner, or let me know what you're making for Christmas. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, fam.